Okay guys, so the first thing that I'm going to do is get some prepping done. So I'm going to start out with cutting up this onion, dicing this onion, and this onion is going to be for the chili. So I've already turned on my air fryer, which is what I'm going to use to cook my chicken and for the fettuccine alfredo. So I got that warming up, and then I also turned on my deep fryer, which is what I'm going to put my catfish nuggets in. So that won't take long. It's probably take quicker than peeling the skin off of this onion. But so I got that stuff warmed up, and I'm going to dice this onion, and I'm going to put a little butter in here. Okay, so I'm having a serious issue. I'm going to put a little butter in here and kind of get this onion down to get it a little bit soft, so that when I get ready to ground my meat, I can add it to that. So I won't add it to the end because I'm splitting up that, it's hard to do stuff with these nails, honey. I'm splitting up those beef. Remember, I got a larger beef roll and then I got a small one. So, but once I'm done cooking it, then I'll split it in half, and then I'll add this onion to it, or maybe halfway through. And then I'll add this onion to it because we don't do onion in our sloppy joe, just in the chili. So I'm gonna dice this up. I need to invest myself in a nice little food processor, but I don't. Prepping can be kind of therapeutic for me though, so that's probably why I'm hesitant. So even when I'm making the soup, I know I got a lot of chopping and grating to do, but I don't mind. This may be a very long video, so I hope you guys are okay with that. I don't want to do a part 1 and a part 2. I'll try to get it down as small as I can, but my plan is to make a lot before my husband gets back, because I guess there's a fight today or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the oven or on the stove with a little bit of butter. All right, so while that's over there cooking, the next thing I'm gonna do is get this garlic peeled, and this is gonna be for the Alfredo sauce, and I make it from scratch. It's super easy to make, and the family loves it. So I use a lot of garlic because we like a lot of garlic. So I think I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna do I'll just do the whole head since it's right here. Like I said, I've done videos before where, you know, oh, here's one we missed. I've done garlic dinners, and yeah, we use a lot of garlic. I buy them by the packs, the little cases that they have. Yeah, and then I always try to catch it when it's on sale too. So I'm just gonna peel all these garlics. I'm gonna peel all of this garlic, and then I'm going to dice it finely so I can put it on the stove and it can be simmering. I'm gonna add a stick of butter to this, and let it simmer together. Not simmer, just I want it to seep basically, and get the oils infused in with the garlic so that I can have a nice base, a nice garlicky base to start with. So this is a really quick and easy meal to make at home. Okay, this garlic's gonna fool around and get left out if it don't hurry up. You're gonna be left alone, boo. But yeah, it's a quick and easy meal to make for the family. And I should, while I'm cooking, I should make some more of my finishing salts, since I bought a couple more things of garlic. If you guys haven't checked out that video, I did like some finishing salts that I make, and I don't have any more of the garlic one. I did a cilantro, I did a lemon rosemary, which is good on baked chicken, a sriracha. Did I say cilantro? I meant sriracha. And I did like a pepper one, so a chili. It's good with tacos. All right, so I got these all done. See, it seems like a lot, but it's not a whole lot. So I'm just gonna head, and I wish I had an overhead setup. It'd be so much easier, because working around this tripod is something else, honey. And I don't have anybody here to film me. Everybody's out gone gallivanting around the city. So, and the onions smell so good. I have them on low setting, like 2. My setting goes up to 6. And I have it sitting at 2. All right, so I have the garlic sitting in the butter on a low setting of 2, and also the onions are doing the same thing on a low setting of 2. Then I'm going to, I got these jumbo raw shrimp. These came from Aldi. They are deveined shell and tail on. So those are frozen, obviously. So I am going to unthaw these with some cool water. You don't want to get hot, because I don't want them to cook, so that I can peel them. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on in some cool water and let them sit. And this is going to be for the Thai noodle soup that I'm making. So I'm going to prep this real quick, because it has to sit. So the next thing that I am going to do is prep my chicken. So this is the chicken tenderloin. And like I said, I won't need a whole bunch. So what I'm going to do is open this up and wash it. Give the chicken a good wash. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to season them up and put them in the air fryer that is now hot and ready for it. So I'll be right back. All right, I had to clean this cutting board again. I cleaned it after each use, but I had to scrub it, because when I came over here and showed you guys the chicken, remember I said it was leaking, so I had some old chicken juice on it, so I had to wash that so I can put the clean chicken on top. So you want to be sure that you wash your surfaces, wash your hands, of course, after every time you're dealing with raw foods. All right, so I love this. This is not sponsored, but I love for it to be. This McCormick roasted garlic and herb seasoning. It is so good. So I am going to add this to the chicken and then put it in the air fryer instead of doing like all of the seasonings that I usually do. So I'm literally just going to add the top, and then my husband, on top of this, when we put it on top of the fettuccine, he likes an extra little bit of this seasoning on top. It's really garlic heavy. It's really good. It's nice and salty. Not too much. It has a lot of other stuff in it too. So we really like it. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to season this up really quick. Now, when this is going in the air fryer, this seasoning sits on top. So I'm going to put a whole bunch on here. Just enough. And let that, you know, sit out. This chicken was room temperature, so it should be able to gather up those seasonings real quick. I'm going to dump this. Actually, I can only do 4 at a time. So we have a smaller air fryer, so I'm going to do 4, and then I'm going to come back. It should take like, I think it's like 19 minutes. Our air fryer is old, so it doesn't have a timer on it anymore, but I just know where to put the arrow. So I'm going to put 4 in, and I'm going to come back. When that's done, let those rest, of course, and cool off, and I'll put the other 4 in. All right, so checking on these onions. I don't know if you guys can see. I can't see if you can see. All right. These onions are, oh gosh, they smell so good. And then I'm just going to use the same thing. I'm just going to wipe off the onion flavor. And my garlic and butter is infused together so nicely. Let's pull this to you so you can see. Look. Yummy. And then, yep, onions are done. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the hamburger meat, because I'm getting ready to make the sauce with that. So I'm going to get the hamburger meat and put it on this eye. This is my large eye right here, so that I could be cooking. All right, that's my pot. And while I'm over here, I'm going to put some water on for the pasta noodles. All right, I'm going to move my cup. This is bacon grease. Like, all the people that I know have a cup of bacon grease somewhere sitting on the stove to be used for flavor. Save your bacon grease, honey. It's good for flavor. I'm going to put one of these chicken bouillon cubes in here. I just got this from Aldi. I'm going to put it in my water to flavor the water for the pasta. Drop that in there. Turn my heat on and bring that to a boil. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this pan. Just a little bit to help the hamburger cook. I have a 1 pound hamburger meat, ground beef rather. All right, and then I have the 3 pound. I'm gonna dump that in there as well. All right, so to this hamburger meat, I'm gonna add a little bit of seasoning salt and a little bit of the fresh ground pepper. Not too much, just enough to season the meat, just a little bit, because remember this is going into 2 separate dishes, but I do like to add just a little bit of flavor. So I'm gonna chop this up. And that should be frying up any second. I'm gonna take the onions off. Oh, it smells so good. So I'm gonna turn that eye off in the back. And this smells yummy. All right, to this Alfredo, I'm gonna add some whipping cream, heavy whipping cream. Turn it up a little bit. And I'm gonna add a lot, this whole pint. Stir that in there real good. I may add some more to that. I love the little garlic bits in there. I'm gonna keep working on this hamburger meat over here. That's why I like to add a little bit of water at the bottom so it doesn't burn. It cooks and not burns. Okay, meanwhile my pasta water is back there boiling. And I'm gonna get my seasonings out for this Alfredo. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic, granulated garlic. Just a smidge. Now you guys see how there's no measuring over here, but I think I did a tutorial on this, or some type of a show and tell, whatever you guys call it, cook with me, that has like the exact measurements. And then I'm just gonna add a pinch of salt. And then I'm gonna give this a stir and let that come to a nice little boil. Taste where I'm at. Oh, so good. It just needs to come to a boil. It doesn't need anything else. All right. That's the funny thing about cooking. When you do it so much and for so long that you don't even need to measure. Actually, I'm going to switch the pasta noodles over there so that I can get this pan on whole heat, because it is kind of large. All right. I'm going to check on this shrimp. All right. The shrimp is still a smidge frozen. Well, not too bad. It's just cold. So this is how they'll look. And you just want to go ahead and, well, I just go ahead and shuck them really quick. Take off all of the unnecessary extras. So, and then I'm going to stick it back in this water. Well, back in a fresh water, so that it can stay, you know, chilled until I'm ready to get to it. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back, guys. All right, so while I was doing the shrimp, my chicken has now come out. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. It has beeped. It is nice and juicy. Look at that steam coming up. Oh, so good. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other 4 in and put those on, and then we'll be done with that part. All right, so we're back over here to our sauce that is brewing up nicely, and our hamburger meat is browning. Looks so good. And then it keeps this hamburger meat juicy. I really do. I know a lot of people say, why do you add water? Doesn't it mess up the seasoning? No, it doesn't do anything. It keeps your hamburger moist while you're cooking it and stay nice and juicy. So that'll be done in a minute, and then, well, not a minute, literally it'll be done in a little bit. And then I am going to go ahead and separate it. Half of this is chili, and the other half is sloppy Joe. All right, I have this penne pasta. I'm gonna pour half of that box in there. And I want that pasta to be al dente because remember, I'm freezing it. So I don't want it to be cooked all the way. Let me stop this timer. I'm gonna put the timer on. It says 10 minutes, so I'm gonna put it on 8 and see where we're at from there. And I set myself a clock. I get to doing stuff and I forget. All right. Now it's time to turn that down a little bit. And then we're gonna add the Parmesan cheese to this sauce. And this sauce is almost done. I'm just gonna add a handful. So maybe a quarter cup or so. And I'm gonna let this thicken. Just a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to those noodles so they don't stick. All right, it's just a few more minutes needed for this, then I can drain it and get it ready. Okay, noodles. Oh, this looks so good. Let me taste it. It needs to thicken up. See, that's why it's in there. It's too thin, but it'll thicken up in a minute. But I just want to taste it. This is delicious. I'm going to add a little bit more pepper though. It doesn't need anything else. I'm just going to let that sit and think for a bit. All right, so now while all that stuff is brewing, we got the chicken in the air fryer. We have the sauce for the Alfredo cooking. The hamburger meat is cooking, and the noodles are on. I'm going to wash this catfish down and get ready to bread it. Okay, so the hamburger meat is done. The sauce I've already turned off. It's setting. I'm gonna let that cool off. It's done. The noodle timer went off, but they're not done yet. So I'm gonna put them on 2 more minutes. So it'll be a total of 10 minutes so far. So that they're in there. And I'm going to drain this hamburger meat and separate it between 2 pots. All right, I have half of the meat back in there. Turn that down. And this is gonna be the sloppy Joe. So I got my manwich. My timer's gone off. I'm just gonna add the manwich to the sauce. Stir it first to see. Oh, there's the timer for the chicken. Everything is happening. All right. I'm just trying to see where we are. I'm gonna add the other can. Just gonna add a little bit at a time. And see what that was looking like. And then I'm gonna add some stuff to it. First, let me check these noodles. They are good to go. Let's turn those off. Yep, can you see? They are nice, perfect. Perfect for what I need it to be. Almost done, but not quite, because we still gotta warm it up when it's time. For this, I'm gonna add some barbecue sauce. Just a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of mustard. Let that sit for a little bit to thicken. I'm gonna taste it though, because that's what we have to do. I have to taste it, see what I need to add. I'm gonna add a little ketchup. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit and think. All right, that's cooking down. I've drained the pasta and I've cleaned out this pot because I'm going to put the chili in here. I'm gonna add the hamburger meat, the other half that was with this. All right, and so now I'm gonna add my seasonings to this meat. Before I do that, that sloppy Joe is done. Turn it off. Put it off to the side to cool. All right, before I get started on that chili, because that's gonna have to sit for a little bit, I am going to get this catfish prepped. So I've washed it. So I'm just gonna lay it on this clean paper towel to dry it, or to drain the extra water off, so that when I bread it, you know, everything will stick as best as it can. All right, okay. I'm gonna let that sit for a quick second. I'm gonna crack a room temperature egg in there. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of this Old Bay seasoning. It's a really good seasoning for your seafoods and stuff like that. I'm just gonna add a little bit to here. Smidge. Whisk this up. Let's see here. That's what that looks like. Then I have a little bowl here. Let's bring it down a little bit so you see what's going on. I'm gonna add some cornmeal, yellow cornmeal, to this. You don't need a whole lot, it's just for your breading. I'm gonna bring this fish back and I'm gonna tap it with a paper towel on top. Get all of that liquid out as best as I can. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of vegetable oil to this pan here. And I love using this pan, so it's one of my favorites. So this is going to, I'm gonna turn this on so it can be heating up, so I can get ready to put the fish in there. I'm gonna turn this way, and then I'm gonna go back and bread the fish. All right, I'm gonna take my fish and soak it in here, kind of douse it in there really well, get it nice and coated. Oh, I'm gonna add a little bit of this seasoning to my cornmeal, just a little bit. It's really good. Okay, so I got that sitting in there, and then I'm just going to make a mess, and then I'm gonna bread it. Just flip it back and forth. See how that coats that so nicely? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna sit this in this pan, and I'm gonna keep doing that until I get all of this fish done. Let's see, let's try moving the camera down a little. It's kind of hard working around this, guys. I'm trying. And then we're gonna put it in here. Get a nice good coating. And our meals are coming together quite nicely, quite quickly. You know, I got to get the rice on for that's gonna go with this catfish. That jambalaya rice. It's gonna be pretty easy to do that. All right. So I'm gonna finish coating this, and I got just the right amount of cornmeal in here. Yeah, this is gonna be so good. And then we got the little bits. Let's just do all these at once. The little nuggets. You gotta make sure your egg is room temperature. I don't know, my grandmother always said that. Set them eggs out, girl. Get them eggs out. Set them eggs out. I'm like, oh goodness grief. They're just eggs. But I guess they make a difference when you're trying to bread something, you know. I mean, that's just common sense, I suppose. You don't want it to be cold. Shocks the food. It won't absorb the way you want it to. That's like keeping your meat room temperature before you cook it. You know, your steaks. It takes on the seasoning and the heat very well. Because if it's frozen or cold, it won't do that. So, just the right amount of, only a little bit of egg wash left and a little bit of seasoning. So I'm going to clean this up and I'll be back. Okay. So I put a little cornmeal in there just to test the temperature of my fish. I mean the grease. I'm gonna go ahead and put my fish in there. I'm gonna put 2 and then a couple of nuggets on there. And let that fry up. Okay. Meanwhile, let's get to this chili. All right, I'm gonna turn this on. Turn it on low or medium high. I'm gonna start out with my tomato paste. Squeeze that little packet out. And then, turn this down. I'm gonna add the onions from earlier, remember? They have been sitting over there waiting on their turn. All right, let's add some liquid to this. I'm gonna add a can of kidney beans, undrained, and then a can of drained corn. And then I'm gonna add some diced tomatoes. I'm not gonna add this whole thing. This is just what I picked up. Just gonna add a little bit, no juice. I'm gonna add 2 spoons for now. I'm gonna add some chili powder. That's the end of that. I'm gonna add some onion powder and garlic salt and pepper. A pinch of cinnamon. I'm gonna add some brown sugar. Just a little bit. Yeah, about, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 cup, somewhere around there. I'm gonna add some mustard, just a little bit, some barbecue sauce, and add a little bit of water. All right, let's bring that up to a simmer, then we can see where we are. I'm gonna check on this fish over here. Oh, I can't find my tongs right this second. This is not the way to stir it over, to flip your fish. I just didn't want it to burn. So that's the first thing that I grabbed. All right, so we have the fish cooking, the chili stewing. I'm gonna make the rice real quick. I do mine's a little unorthodox, but it works every single time. I'm gonna put, for right now, or the meal that I'm making, I'm gonna make 2 cups of rice. I can't find anything right now. So right now I can't find my cup measuring, my measuring cup. All right. I got 2 cups of rice in there, and I'm gonna add double the amount of water. So I'm gonna add 4 cups of water to this. All right, to that I'm gonna add a pinch of salt, a little bit of salt. I'm gonna give it a stir. I'm gonna put this in the microwave for 13 minutes. It'll come out perfect.